You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
We need to take care of our community, from the environment to the economy to the traffic to the construction.
We are going to be knocking on more doors. We're meeting with people on a regular basis.
Candidates for a seat on the Sarasota County Commission face off. Who's going to earn your support? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have the debate for a seat on the Sarasota County Commission in a moment, but first, our top stories at 7. Well, it exactly wasn't a day at the beach for Governor Rick Scott in Venice today. No, his eyes weren't stinging from the effects of red tide, but his ears were sure ringing. The governor was making his second stop on his campaign for U.S. Senate at Mojo's Cuban restaurant in Venice. Protesters were chanting things like, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, red tide Rick has got to go," and holding up signs. The Suncoast residents say Scott is to blame for this year's conditions because he failed to put regulations on pollution.
Water you can't live in, and the air you can't breathe in. So what are we living in? Is everyone going to leave Florida? Is everyone going to leave Florida because there's no water and there's no air? And the sand. There's maggots in the sand from people burying dead fish in it. So even the sand is toxic. I'm beyond disgusted.
The protest chants from outside drowned out Governor Scott, and he cut short his appearance before leaving the restaurant through a back door. Neighbors and witnesses to a fatal crash on State Road 64 Saturday are outraged. Tonight, they are demanding safety improvements to the intersection they say was deadly long before two teenagers were killed. 17-year-old Chase Coyner and 15-year-old Matthew Powers were killed after FHP says Coyner turned onto Pope Road directly into the path of an oncoming truck. Both people in that truck were thrown out. One 12-year-old girl remains in critical condition.
People wake up. I mean, this is common sense. These roads need to be fixed. You can't put an amount of money on a precious life. You can't put an amount of money on two teenage boys that their lives were just taken because of the incompetency of certain leaders in the community. I'm going to call out Carol Whitmore. You know, I think she needs to do something.
FDOT says it installed a white median to help with traffic flow. They say the year before there were 19 crashes, and in the 6 months it has been here, there have been only 5. They also plan to build a roundabout here in the next few years. The city of Orlando is asking a federal judge to dismiss a civil rights lawsuit filed on behalf of victims and survivors of the Pulse nightclub shooting. The Orlando Sentinel reports the lawsuit accuses Orlando Police Detective Adam Gruler of failing to intervene to stop the June 12, 2016 massacre. Authorities say Gruler, who was working an extra-duty shift, fired at Omar Martin from 2 locations outside of Pulse, but didn't pursue him inside. The lawsuit claims it was Gruler's job to go inside the club to neutralize the shooter, even though he would have risked his own life. A new report from researchers raises questions about the growing role of charter schools in Florida, citing the closure of 373 charter schools since 1998. In the report released today, the watchdog group Integrity Florida says the state has too many charter schools with too little oversight. According to Integrity Florida, there are roughly 650 charter schools now in operation, teaching 350,000 students. This is more than 10% of all kids in the state. The group says the number of for-profit charter schools is growing at a rapid pace each year, and the new schools are taking money away from traditional public schools.
These schools that should be private schools are accessing public funds, and you know they are giving parents and students more choices, but that choice comes at a cost.
According to Integrity Florida reports, almost 20 charter schools close per year due to low enrollment or fiscal mismanagement. The remnants of Florence are continuing to impact the East Coast. More than 1 million people are still under mandatory evacuation orders, and at least 1,000 swiftwater rescues have been carried out in North Carolina alone. More than 20 people have died in storm-related incidents. Some 523,000 homes and businesses are still without power in North and South Carolina. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the First Alert Forecast. Bob.
Yeah, that just shows you the power of water. It's not always the wind that causes the deaths. Obviously, we had Charlie back in 2004, and there were only 6 deaths attributed to the wind. but just this tropical storm and hurricane that made its way into North Carolina and then eventually South Carolina as a tropical storm, causing damage. Over 35 inches of rain in Elizabethtown, North Carolina. That's the highest amount so far, and that's official. We are watching the low, the remnant low now, no longer tropical, cause even more problems with tornadoes. We had a tornado reported in Richmond with one of the bands that feed into the remnant low, and that happened just about 2 hours ago as a result of a tornado that developed there. Still a line of convergent bands set up all the way down south. You can see it now moving through South Carolina, where there are some severe thunderstorms warnings. There's the actual remnant low now over parts of southeast Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. You can see those severe thunderstorm warnings still taking place. Flood warnings continue now and will do so into North Carolina and South Carolina. There's a tornado watch box, and a new tornado warning has just been issued southeast of Richmond with this particular line right there that has already produced one tornado and one fatality. We are looking at Fayetteville getting some heavy rainfall there, all the way down to central portions of South Carolina. And for us, we're getting some showers starting to pop up here and there. You can see that activity getting ready to move into Port Charlotte and possibly Northport here. Not a lot, but we'll see this line continue to develop as it moves off to the west, popping some showers and some storms through around the 9 to 10 o'clock hour. Alan?
Now the primary election has come and gone. The focus is on the November general election. There are several local heated races slated for the ballot, including the race for Sarasota County Commission District 2. ABC7's Jess Dadrick is here to introduce us to the candidates. Jess.
Alan, the District 2 seat is up for grabs after the current county commissioner, Paul Caragiulo, decided not to run for re-election after serving as commissioner for 7 years. Now, 2 candidates are battling to serve at the county commission level for the first time. Meet your Sarasota County District 2 candidates. The Republican is Christian Ziegler. The Democrat, Ruta Maria Junari. Ziegler moved to Sarasota in 2006 to work for U.S. Congressman Vern Buchanan. When the congressman won his first election, Ziegler went to Capitol Hill with him.
Before that, I worked in the State House. And then about 6-7 years ago, I broke off and got in the private sector, started a business, grew it to about 25 employees.
Ziegler's experience in government has been at the state and national levels, but now he's running for local government.
I've been involved with local issues for over 10 years with my involvement with the party and with other organizations in the county. So really, when you ask, why am I looking at Sarasota County, it's because I've been saying for over 10 years that local government's the most important government, has the most direct impact on your life. They make a decision and instantly, overnight, it impacts your livelihood.
There are a list of issues Ziegler says he'd fight for as commissioner. At the top of that list is clean water.
Because really the entire community here is dependent on good, clean beaches, a good, clean environment. All of our lives are surrounded by it. People move here, people, relocate their business here because of that.
His challenger, Ruta Junari, recently ran for state representative in District 72, but lost to now current state rep Margaret Good in the primary.
District 72 is so small. All of a sudden, when you have to go to Longboat Key and you have to go to Nokomis and to Venice, and each community has their own unique issue, and that's what's been actually exciting and challenging, because I had to go out and really meet with people, which is exciting for me, and I actually had to learn each individual area's main concerns.
Junari says she will be the voice for the people and has started meeting with different communities weekly to hear what issues are important to county constituents.
I've been going to a lot of county commissioner meetings, and unfortunately it seems a lot of them are very dismissive of the public. And they're the constituents. They're the ones who vote for us. Their taxes, and my taxes, pay their salaries.
Junari says for the people of Venice, she wants to push to expand River Road. For Northport residents, she wants to help them build their first hospital. Further north in Sarasota, Junari says she wants to fight to protect the celery fields. Junari says she will always fight for the environment.
I feel that our local economy is driven by the environment. Between our beaches, our celery fields, our state parks like Mayaca, these are attractions that drive our local economy.
Historically, Republicans have dominated the seat, but that hasn't discouraged Junari.
We are going to be knocking on more doors. We're meeting with people on a regular basis. I'm going to meeting after meeting with constituents.
When asked why Junari would be the better candidate for the job, She said,
"We've had numerous invitations to debate in public, and he's not shown up. And I don't think that's something that people want as representation. If he's not willing to go out and debate and meet with his constituents in a public forum and only do it on a larger scale, whether it's maybe because it's on TV, I don't think it's who the public wants to represent them."
Ziegler's response to Junari's claim:
We just moved into the general election. I was in a primary election with a different opponent. She was not involved in that race. So going forward, I think we have, numerous forums and debates and all that stuff that's scheduled going forward. So I don't know where her criticism is, because she wasn't running against me in the primary election.
And when asked why he's the better candidate for the job,
I don't believe the government should be big. I think that we need to make sure the citizens have as much of their own money in their own pocket. She wants to take more of it. She wants to grow government. She wants to, she's fighting for Medicare for all. I mean, it's a very extreme position she's taken, and I'm a very limited government conservative.
the general election is right around the corner, November 6th, and there will be about 19 or 20 issues on the ballot this year.
Jess, thank you. Both candidates are waiting nervously at the trapezoid, so let's get it going in a minute.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that light the night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford, credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. Check out My Suncoast Dining on MySuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at MySuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. Tonight we continue our commitment to provide a forum to compare and contrast the candidates running for office this fall. Tonight, the Sarasota County Commission District Number 2. Republican Christian Ziegler is a familiar face, a frequent political analyst here and elsewhere. Democrat Ruta Gennari is also well known. She ran for her party's nomination in the special election for House 72 last spring. We'd like to welcome them both, and we'd like to start by giving you both a minute to introduce yourselves to our audience. And Christian, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a familiar face on this channel, as you mentioned. I've been here often.
35 years old, moved to Sarasota County in 2006 to come work for U.S. Congressman Vern Buchanan. After that, well, before that, I worked in the State House as well, so I have state and federal experience. And then after working for Congressman Buchanan, I broke off into the private sector. A couple blocks from here, right downtown Sarasota, grew a business from 0 employees to about 25 employees locally, dealt with the struggles of growing a business, hiring, firing, managing a budget. All of that stuff here locally, and what it really did is uncover some challenges that we have in Sarasota County where we can improve our economy. But recently I broke off and started my own business, so now I'm working for myself, own my own business. And about a year ago or so, right after Hurricane Irma, Commissioner Paul Carajullo reached out to me and said, look, I'm going to run for re-election unless I can recruit you and convince you to run for my seat. County Commission wasn't on my radar, decided to run, got in the race, and been running ever since.
Okay. Rita.
Well, I decided to run for District 72, as you mentioned, just because of what I've seen in Sarasota. I've been here 20 years, and what I've seen is continual changes, and not for the good necessarily. I've seen the environment fall apart. We see it with red tide. I see overdevelopment, traffic issues. All of these things are a concern to me as they are to everyone else. And so after mulling things over, decided to toss my hat in for County Commissioner because County Commissioner really affects day-to-day lives of Sarasota County residents even more than a Congress seat or other seats. So it really gives an opportunity to help day-to-day in the frustrations that all of us as residents have. And it's a bipartisan thing because it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, non-party, Republican. When you sit in traffic, we all sit in traffic. It doesn't matter what party hat you have on that day. So that's really why I'm running.
Okay, our debate for District 2 on the Sarasota County Commission begins right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Good evening, everyone. A beautiful day it was today. On the warm side, too, temperatures topped out a little bit above average, 90 degrees the high. We had a few fair weather cumulus clouds moving through, and now some showers are starting to gather down in South Sarasota County and into Charlotte County. We'll get to the radar picture now and show you the action. We have the high pressure now starting to build in just off of Daytona Beach, and that's giving us that more east to southeasterly wind component, at least over the southern portion of the peninsula, and that is allowing for some convergence and some showers to set up now. And I expect a few of these to work their way northward and eventually have an impact on the coast. Not everyone's going to get the rain, but we're getting a little bit of activity now and again near Punta Gorda, also near Port Charlotte, and up near Northport, one lone shower near I-75. But that's about it. Heavy rain continues, and flooding concerns are still there in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, all the way up into Pennsylvania tonight. The area of low pressure, the remnant low, if you will, of Florence, now moving through West Virginia, heading off to the northeast and causing some problems in terms of severe weather tonight. And near Richmond, they've already had a reported tornado doing some damage, killing one and injuring another with that tornado. Severe weather still breaking out along one of these convergent bands that's feeding into the remnant low. You can see that activity now. Tornado watch is in effect, affecting over 3 million people in that population right now under that watch. And we did have a tornado warning and also a severe thunderstorm warning just about an hour and a half ago near Richmond. Well, in the tropics, all is quiet right now. It's the first time since July that all the oceans in the northern hemisphere do not have any tropical storm, hurricane, or typhoon. For that matter, we have the remnants of what was Isaac making its way through Jamaica, bringing some heavy rainfall there. It's poorly organized, and the Hurricane Center doesn't give it much chance at 10% to redevelop as it makes its way off to the west-northwest. There it is, the area of low pressure, really a open wave, if you will, moving off toward the west-northwest. It looks like most of the models agree that high pressure over Florida will keep this thing on a more west to northwesterly course over the next 5 days. Bringing more rain into Texas and Louisiana, looks like. Get a look at the forecast, or not the forecast, but the path of what Florence did. You can see this little area right here. That's the cooler water temperatures that made their way and up from the upwelling due to the high wave and surf action associated with Florence. And temperatures there, right where it moved over now into the low 80s to the south thereof, still 89 off the coast of Miami. Temperatures currently 87 degrees. There's not a lot of cooling showers out there, so temperatures remaining very warm, mid to upper 80s, and the feels like temperature still into the mid 90s. Dry air is slipping to the west now. We're going to see a little bit of moisture gathering tomorrow. That'll give us a better chance for at least a few scattered storms in the afternoon. All this dry air that you see right there is basically going to hold off to the east of our area, it looks like, over the upcoming days. So our rain chances tonight, we'll see a few showers. Most of the action should be over around 10, 11 o'clock, and then we'll see a few scattered storms developing tomorrow afternoon. Better chances for rain come on Wednesday and Thursday. For boaters tomorrow, winds will start off out of the east-southeast, switching around to the west-northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be running 2 feet or less, and a light chop out there. Here's the extended forecast then. 30% chance, just a few late in the day. A little bit better on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for those scattered afternoon storms. High temperatures remaining into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, which is close to seasonal averages. We'll be right back with the debate right after this. Stick around.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Auburn Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit rtjgolf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. Tonight, the race for Sarasota County Commission District 2, and we welcome back Republican Christian Ziegler and Democrat Rudy Giuliani. And folks, I'm going to ask you the same question in 2 very different ways, particular to both of you, and that is why you are running. Christian, as we said at the outset, you have been a frequent guest on this show. We see your passion talking about national issues. Talk about your conservative causes. When you look on your social media, like Twitter, you're mostly talking about what's happening in Washington and how it impacts us. So why is the Sarasota County Commission your passion, or is it?
No, it is. To be honest, it was never on my radar to run. This wasn't something that I was planning on running for office. I didn't recently run in a race, lose, and try to find another seat. I mean, my plan this entire time was really not to run, but I had a current county commissioner that reached out to me and frankly said, look, you're a working class family, you and your wife are here, and which is true. And then I started thinking about it, and the more he lobbied me, the more I thought, look, my wife and I, we work here. My parents retired here on Longboat Key. Our girls are going to school here. I got a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, And they're going to grow up here. I'm never leaving Sarasota County. I'm very fortunate. I got here a lot earlier than most people do. And, you know, the County Commission gives me an opportunity and a platform to help shape this community in a better way that I believe it should be shaped. And again, I'm going to be here forever. I don't plan on ever leaving. And I want my girls that when they go to college, most likely they're probably going to go to college somewhere else. I want this to be a place that they're going to come back and want to live, because I want to be around my grandkids eventually in the future. So that's my passion. That's why I'm running. I've always said for over 10 years, local government's the most important government. And as Ruta mentioned, you know, it's something that you can do and have a direct impact instantly is through local government.
Ruta, same question to you, but I'll ask it to you in this way. You know, we understand why you want to run for this office, but for better or for worse, and it's probably for worse, it's all about money and being able to communicate with voters out there. In both your recent filings with the elections, you raised a little over $18,000 for this race compared to Christian, who has raised almost $60,000. How are you going to win this race if you can't communicate with the voters out there in the same way that your opponent can?
Well, I think for my opponent, his strength in the numbers and the numbers game is basically going to be dependent on getting mailers out to people. I'm going grassroots. I'm going door to door. I'm going to town hall meetings. I'm going to neighborhood association meetings. So I'm actually meeting with the constituents one-on-one rather than looking at a bigger strategy of probably just dumping a lot of expensive, shiny things in front of these people that are going to be voting. And I think the other thing is, I think the sincerity of myself, having worked with a 501c and establishing a free medical clinic here, I do understand the needs of the people, and I understand the people. I'm not chasing Washington or Tallahassee. My posts aren't Washington and Tallahassee. My posts are about giving back to this community, helping this community the best way I can. And for me, if it means knocking on more doors, making more phone calls, that's what it's going to take to win. I'll do that.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up. Our debate on the District 2 for Sarasota County Commission will continue after a quick break. Stay with us.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight, the race for Sarasota County Commission District 2, and we welcome Republican Christian Ziegler and Democrat Ruta Gennari. Christian, as you know, one of the biggest issues facing our area is development. Some people believe the overdevelopment of the Suncoast here. I mentioned some of the amount of money that you and Ruta have raised during this election. You've raised almost $60,000. Can't help but notice that among your contributors, a lot of those developers like Pat Neal, Benderson, there are a lot of people concerned that those developers wield way too much influence on the county commission. So when you hear that, how do you respond?
Look, I've been a grassroots activist for over 10 years here in Sarasota County. I've, within the party, and what I've done is throughout the years is I've focused on the people. I focused on the grassroots and worked my way up that way. These developers, and I agree, I think there's some concern with overdevelopment in the area. We need to be smart about development. There are certain things that we should be doing that we're not doing. When you start talking about the contributors, I mean, here's the truth. You go down my contribution list, it's not just total amount of money, it's also how many contributions you've received, individual contributions. And I'll tell you, my treasurer gets pretty upset because I have a lot of $20.18 contributions from the people, rank and file people. And when you start looking at these developers that give, look, they obviously know that I'm someone that's going to win, and people want to be with a winner. And I wasn't their first pick. I'm not the construction candidate. I didn't go through the natural progression, which is get on the Sarasota Planning Commission, work your way up to County Commission. This is something I got in the race, and I have a lot of grassroots party support. And sometimes I get criticized for that support, but I do have that support. And look, they're donating, but it's $200 limits, Alan. For anyone to say that you can be bought up by a $200 limit is complete nonsense.
Ruta, let me ask you this question. If you were to win this race, you would be the first Democrat to win countywide and sit on this commission in decades. So what could one person do in order to rein back the development that some people believe is overrunning our county?
Well, I think it's a start if we get a Democrat in, but I want to address Christian's grassroots effort. Accepting over 60% of your contributions from developers will leave you beholden to them. I'm sorry. And saying you're a winner because they chose you, is it that, or is it because they actually see that they can influence you more than somebody else? And I'm sorry, giving $200 1,000 times, that will get you your numbers. So it's not a grassroots effort. And saying that you're totally grassroots, I'm sorry, I don't accept it. And you talk about being a fiscal conservative and things like that, and looking at your report, it is developer money. We also see allocations on your expenses that you're expensing them out to yourself. You get $5,000 checks from the Republican Party as a social welfare system almost, going for Facebook ads. So, I mean, I don't think that you're the responsible one as far as answering to where the money's going to be going.
So, Christian, let me give you 30 seconds to respond.
Yep, I want to get into that. So a couple things. Number one, Ruta, your attacks are completely ridiculous. Here's the deal. You have a campaign manager over here. I don't have a consultant. If you go through my expenses, I don't have a consultant. I'm running my own race.
So that's what's yourself.
Well, that's what happens when you pay for Facebook ads. You have to load in a credit card.
But why aren't
so that's
you
how it
using
works.
I have campaigned
I'm
before.
doing everything. If you want to go down to my treasurer, everything's full disclosure.
No, I'm just curious to see
But let
why
me just tell you. So
yourself.
here's your problem, Ruta, is you ran for a seat in a special election against Margaret Good here locally for the Democrat Party. you are too extreme and too far left for the Democrat Party because you're a socialist. You're a Bernie Sanders socialist. You're an activist for Bernie Sanders. You advocate for Medicare for all. And let me tell you, Sarasota County, 97% they approve of what's going on in Sarasota County.
I think we are beyond the rebuttal phase there.
No, I think that's only fair.
No, but this doesn't have to do with anything socialist. If you're looking at socialist, well, then you should answer to getting a $5,000 check from the Republican Party for doing nothing.
Let's change topics slightly and talk about something that's also on the ballot this fall that's very important to many people in this community, and that is single-member districts. Because, Ruda, I know a lot of the Democrats believe that they may fare better if there are single-member districts in this county, but Republicans would say to you, you know, this has been tried and it failed as an experiment years ago. Why try to do it again?
Well, I think the reason for single-member districts, I didn't live here when they voted on it prior and then they voted it out. I think they need to try it. And what it does is it eliminates all this money going to one person where the developers can kind of make an influence, and rather you're going to answer to the constituents. And I think what happened now, I think the voters are getting smarter. I really think that people are getting fed up with not having representation. I went to several commission meetings recently where the public is coming out, whether it's Celery Fields or Siesta Promenade, with real issues and concerns because they're getting affected by what the commissioners are deciding on in that area. If it went to single-member districts, those commissioners who were making some of these comments would never be reelected because their constituents are so outraged at what's happening in their immediate area. When it's spread over 80%, it gets washed out. So I really think the single-member district will give much more accountability to that commissioner, to the people.
So here's the problem with single-member district is overnight, if you enact single-member districts, 80% of your representation on the county commission will be eliminated. You'll lose 80% of your vote because you'll only be allowed to vote for one commissioner instead of deciding on all 5. Instantly, 80% of your accountability on the county commission will be eliminated because you only have one representing you. Right now, all 5 have to be elected by you and hired by you, or they can be fired by you, and all 5 are accountable to you. Look, I'm excited to represent Northport. I think that, you know, River Road's something that needs to get done. I mean, I'm bullish about what's happening with the Braves. I think Venice, you start going down there, we need to look at the parks, we need to look at the beaches and clean water that's affecting that area. Ruda, let me finish. And here's my concern. I think the real question, Alan, if you want to give a genuine question to Ruda, is why are you running for a seat that you don't want to represent 80% of the people? Because that's what she's advocating for. She's advocating for not representing Northport, not representing Inglewood, not representing Venice. I'm excited, and I'm very excited about representing those areas.
Sure. Well, for you to say that you can represent 80% of the people, how many people, if you go down to Northport with me tomorrow, and let's do this, and we'll go live, and we're going to ask how many of those people, how many can name their commissioner just in that district, not even all 5, just one. They will not be able to do so, Christian, so it's not good representation. I'm sorry.
All right, let's try to get one other topic in here or more. Christian, you told us in the story that we just aired that you are running because we're dependent on good, clean beaches, good, clean environment. We are surrounded by it. People are here and they relocate here because of that. But again, if you look at your social media profile, I can't recall a tweet or an entry about red tide, about the toxic algae bloom. And I'm wondering, who do you blame for red tide right now? You were with Governor Scott today. Does he bear any responsibility for it?
Alan, what you just said was actually false. You're obviously not looking at my stuff. I have a Sarasota County Commission page on there. Just about 2 weeks ago, I popped into a red tide meeting that was on Siesta Key, a nice pano shot of just how many people were there. I have posts with Michael Holderness, who's on Siesta Key, that's very concerned about clean water and other issues with our bay and our environment. I have countless posts talking about this stuff.
Right.
I have
Does the state bear any responsibility for what?
Look, I think we all have a responsibility for our environment. You look at clean water. I know locally, look, and now you're asking about the state, you're asking about the federal government. Why don't we talk about the local stuff that needs to happen? And when you start talking about the local area, it's not Lake Okeechobee. Lake Okeechobee is a big problem, and thankfully Ron DeSantis, the Republican running for governor, is addressing that. But locally, what we can do is what's called modernizing our stormwater. It's something that needs to be addressed so when water and fertilizer and all that water gets trapped and funnels through the system, that it's being treated and not dumped directly into our bays and our Gulf. So that's something that I've been talking about, because Paul Caragiullo, whose seat I'm running for and who supports me, has been a champion on modernizing stormwater, and I'm going to follow in those footsteps.
That is a response in terms of an idea that deals with this problem locally. Ruta, your response?
Sure. As far as red tide, I am actually endorsed by Sierra Club in the Democratic Environmental Caucus for my stands on the environment. Christian, to be honest, I've never seen you at any debate when it came to the environment, and there have been numerous ones where
Ruta, you go to debates with progressive Sarasota, Democrat Party Sarasota.
Ray Pilon
so of course I wouldn't be at some of those.
No, Ray Pilon was there, Alexandra
here's the deal.
was there, Lourdes
Where were you at
Ramirez,
Moat? Why weren't you at the Moat Marine press conference on that issue?
I actually was one-on-one on stage with the Moat Marine.
You can say that all day long,
Ruta,
Christian,
and I am going to say it all day long.
Where were you at the luncheon last week with Moat Marine? You weren't there. You weren't there. You weren't there.
Break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords, all on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073, or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
Welcome back. Tonight, the race for the Sarasota County Commission District 2, and joining us is Ruta Gennari and Christian Ziegler. We have about 3.5 minutes. I want to get two issues really quickly. One would be the celery fields. It's before the County Commission right now. Critics say that opponents of any kind of development are arguing over one piece of parcel in an otherwise very large area. Are environmentalists and those opposed to the development there overplaying their hand, Ruta?
I don't think so. They live there, and they want to make sure that they have an area where they can bring their kids, not worry about heavy trucks going down breaking up concrete, adding pollutants to the water. It's a bird sanctuary, it's a retreat. So many people, when they can't go to the beach now, especially with red tide and it's killing all of our business, at least we have celery fields so people can go walk, they can go bird watch. So I don't think it's overplaying, and I think the fact that the commissioners aren't listening to the people is outrageous. Sorry.
I think celery fields are a gem for Sarasota County. I take my girls there. We like walking up the big, they call it the big mountain. And, you know, we go up there, we do our lap around there, get back in our car and come home. There's great bird watching and everything, so it's something that's unique for Sarasota. Celery fields need to be protected. As for the land, I do think that the commission has made steps to listen to the people. You have the Fresh Start group that they've empowered to come up with some plans and some ideas, which I love. The fact that this is a citizen-initiated initiative for them to present some plans, and I know they're still working through the process. There's no real rush on it right now. And they're listening to the citizens. I think they have to go back to the drawing board. They're going to bring back some more plans, and that's what I like. I think it's great for government to do that.
Okay, one other issue. Tomorrow's show here on ABC7 at 7 will be the County Commission's consideration of banning recreational marijuana sales in Sarasota County. I don't know if either one of you are aware, but it is currently illegal in the state of Florida. Christian, why is the County Commission wasting our time?
You'd have to ask the county commission why they're bringing this up for recreational marijuana, but I do know there's some concern that, you know, after medical marijuana, what happens is they're going to advocate most likely for recreational if you look at any other states or areas. I personally do not support recreational marijuana. I have yet to find anyone that has went and smoked marijuana and become more productive. Just personally, that's just something that I don't support. But as for the county taking action, to be honest, I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
But you know, under preemption, that even if the county made it legal, if the state made recreational marijuana legal, there is that issue that the community cannot basically do something that the state does not.
Yeah, and again, that's something that you'd have to talk to the current commission. I know the county attorney brought that up when this proposal was being discussed. And, you know, it's something that you'd have to ask them. But I think in Sarasota County, we do not want to become like California. We do not want to become like Colorado. I don't think recreational marijuana is good for Sarasota County.
Rutha?
Well, I don't know. I think the commissioners are acting out of line to actually discuss that. If anything, that should be put on a ballot to the people and let the people decide. Acting as a preemption because they're afraid that the state may one day actually go ahead and allow legalization, full legalization, and they're trying to preempt it to make sure it's grandfathered in is not appropriate. And I think it actually takes a lot of the rights away, basic rights of people. Put it to the people. If they say no, it's no.
So Rutha, do you support it or oppose it? Recreational marijuana. I think this is an important issue.
It is an important issue, and I do support it. I've never said I haven't. So it's it generates lots of revenue.
Okay, we have to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll have closing remarks. But right now, let's get a final check on our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harris. Bob.
Thanks, Ellen, and good evening, everyone. We're looking at some clouds now and again, and a few showers around, not many, not our typical summer pattern, and we only have a few more weeks before that should start to transition. Mid-October is when we start to see the first cold front on average. That's when it comes down, and we'll be looking forward to that. Right now, some showers around. As I mentioned, pretty heavy activity down in Naples and Fort Myers, but not much going on here in Manatee County. Sarasota County, at least the two-thirds of it, not much. Some showers down to our south near Placida, Rotunda. A few showers are breaking out near Northport right now, and Port Charlotte, you had some rain to the east. You had a little bit of brief shower, and now that has since moved on. Other showers will pop up here and there, I think, through this evening. Most areas staying dry, but there'll be a few around. Well, the remnant low of Florence continues to cause problems tonight. There is a tornado watch in effect for Virginia up to Maryland, and on top of that, heavy rain still in the mix for Pennsylvania, spreading up to New York now, and there are flood watches in effect through parts of New York, down through Pennsylvania, and then into West Virginia. Still, flood warnings exist in North Carolina and South Carolina. There's a tornado watch in effect, still in effect through tonight, affecting quite a few people too in that watch box, over 3 million. And as far as the tropics go, this is the first time since July that there have been no tropical systems out there in terms of named systems, no cyclones, no typhoons, and no hurricanes or tropical storms. Usually we get a little break there, and then we have a secondary peak that occurs in late September, early October, really the first week or two in October, we start to see storms pop up again. But let's take a little break right now, and then we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks from now. But we're watching the remnants of what was Isaac moving off toward the west-northwest. Well, here's the next named storm, Kirk. We've already had 10 storms. 5 hurricanes, 5 tropical storms, and 1 major hurricane. Typically after September 17th, the average is for 5 more storms and 1 major storm. So that would make it a very active season if we were to see that. But right now, nothing out there, so things looking good on that front. Well, temperatures currently 87 in Sarasota, 87 in Orlando. Temperatures around the area all into the mid-80s for the most part. We'll start to cool a little bit because of that rain near Northport. The water temperature is still very warm, 87 degrees, dry air to the east and to the west. We're stuck in between, and looks like we will see a few showers again tomorrow afternoon. So tonight, a few evening storms are possible, moving off to the west, and then again tomorrow we'll start off with some sunshine. That sea breeze will develop, a few scattered storms developing along it, and then the east coast makes its way over, and we'll see some showers and storms return back toward the coast. But it's not an all-day rain. It's a scattered variety summer thunderstorm pattern that we're starting to get in. We'll see again that on Wednesday, it looks like, and throughout the rest of the work week. Currently, it's 87. The sun has gone down below the horizon. It's still hot there. It feels like 96 degrees at the airport, and the high today was 90, 1 degree above the average. Our low tonight will be a little bit above the normal, which is 74 degrees. And as far as the national satellite and radar picture goes, well, you can see Florence still causing problems with some rainfall through West Virginia and Pennsylvania. We showed you that, and a little clipper system going to pick it up and carry it off to the northeast as we move in through Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And as far as highs go tomorrow, it's another hot one in Kansas City, 91 for a high, 93 in Denver, and 90 in Albuquerque. We'll see a high there, 84 in Chicago, 80 in the nation's capital, 69 in Minneapolis. For boaters tomorrow, east winds will start off the east to southeast, and they'll turn around to west to northwest late in the day with that sea breeze developing. Seas will be running 1 to 2 feet. Should be pretty good conditions, mostly sunny skies throughout the morning and early afternoon. That water temperature still warm, 87 degrees, and we'll see a UV index at a 10. The forecast for the next 7 days, a slight chance for shower on Tuesday. That'll be in the afternoon and evening. A little bit better on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Could see some action for football Friday night. And looks like Saturday a little less action as some drier air moves in. We'll be right back after this.
Being empowered starts with getting informed, looking closer. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. But many of us don't know there are different types of breast cancer with different characteristics. That was me. Learning about the specifics of my diagnosis gave me the confidence to make informed treatment decisions with my doctor. This meant everything to me and my family. So take another look. Ask another question. Learn more at notonetype.org.
This fall, experience golf at a higher level, where the courses are exceptionally beautiful and incredibly challenging on Alabama's Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Enjoy unlimited golf, including cart and range balls from $112 a day. Beautiful, deadly, irresistible. Is your game ready for the trail? Call 800-949-4444 or visit rtjgolf.com for tee times and get your game on the trail.
So, how many of us feel completely confident about our financial future? Let's hear some specifics. Yes, go ahead.
I don't want to be a burden to my kids. When my husband died, it took almost all of our savings to give him a proper funeral. I honestly don't know if there's enough to bury me, let alone cover expenses should something happen.
Okay. Let's talk solutions. One thing you may want to get in place is a guaranteed whole life insurance policy from United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, which is a Mutual of Omaha company. This is affordable coverage, which provides a cash payment which can cover funeral expenses, bills, and other financial needs. Most payments are on their way within 24 hours. Yes, sir.
I need medical exams, things like that.
No medical exams. If you're between the ages of 45 and 85, you can call this number or you can go online and apply for coverage up to $25,000. United of Omaha Guaranteed Whole Life Insurance. Call or go online now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
Welcome back. We now turn to closing remarks for the two candidates in District 2 of the Sarasota County Commission. And Rutha, you start us off.
Sure. I just want to let the voters know that if they elect me, I'll have their back and I'll be their voice, not the voice of special interest or developers. I'll be fighting for the environment, for infrastructure, for affordable housing, sustainable growth and development. I won't be holding a selfie stick taking pictures of myself with elitists. That's not my style. My style is to be down in the dirt and fighting with everyone to make sure our voices are heard and that our county and quality of life is protected. So I'm asking for everyone's vote. And if I come knocking on your door, please say hello.
Christian.
Yes, so I've been in Sarasota County now for about 12 years. And in that time, I've had the fortunate opportunity of having experience in the State House, up in Congress, at the federal level, and then here at the local level. And my passion, Sarasota County, my wife and I, we work here. My wife and I, we live here. My parents retired here on Longboat Key. My two girls, I have a 5-year-old and I have a 2.5-year-old that are going to school here, and that, you know, hopefully eventually they'll come back here after college. I'm passionate about Sarasota County. I want Sarasota County to be the #1 place to raise a family, get a good paying job, and retire. We have our challenges, but I think everyone can agree Sarasota County is probably the best place to live in the entire country, maybe even the world. And whatever I can do to bring the county commission and direct it into a positive way forward, I'm going to do that, because I plan on never leaving Sarasota County. I literally have skin in the game, and I'm going to use that to motivate me to make Sarasota County #1 place in the country.
Well, Christian and Rutha, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Excellent job and good luck on the campaign trail. We'd like to thank our guests, Republican Christian Ziegler and Democrat Rutha Gennari. That's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Coe. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.